Good. Is it afternoon? No, no, it's still morning. um, Hello. uh, Thank you guys for being here. You made it. I was thinking about you guys, which is probably a bad thing. Yeah, I was thinking about you guys during the exam, and I was like, no, focus. I was like, can't wait for this to be done. I'm gonna go home, set things up, and yeah, everything will be dandy. Hello. Coco, Edith, Sana, Ishwari. Who else is here? Sarah, Biki, Rama, Olivia, Rani, Skylar, Molly, Aliv, Helena, Faria, Yaren, Nishi, Edith, Kush. Good morning. So we're here. Jeez. We've got a few things planned, but I didn't exactly plan out all the specifics and nuances of what to say when, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm a bit awkward, like my usual self. Yeah. Thank you for the congratulations, guys. So, yeah. If I guess some of you guys are here, hopefully knowing why we're here today. And I would hope none of you guys are here expecting studying to happen, right? Can you guys, so this is maybe I can start off that way. Do you have any idea why we're here today? One of the things that we talk about in medicine is something called ICE, and so perhaps we can start with that, with an open question of, so what brings you guys in today? What brings you in today? Congratulations, and thank you for your stream. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my chat laid out so I can see it nice and easy. Yeah. Why are we here? I had just found this channel a few days ago when my exam came. I had hoped that this would be a place I could finally be peaceful for a long time, and so I'm really happy for it. Thank you. Yeah. Edith forever. You. Wait, you're here for me? Why are you? I mean, yeah. I think that's the obvious thing. Sometimes people are like, if you go to a doctor's office and, you know, somebody asks, like, why are you here today? What brings you to the office today? And you say, I'm here for you. That doesn't really narrow it down very much, does it? Say goodbye and farewell. Okay. Here to cry. I guess that's an appropriate thing as well. You, virtual hug to send you off. You, I guess we have to say goodbye to your new life. Can we have a last poll today? We'll get there. Did you guys want a specific poll question today? Maybe we can have multiple polls. I've got one in mind. And, yeah. I've got one in mind, but it'll come a little bit later. But yes. Yes. How was your exam? It's you sending your love and support. Everyone came back to the stream and see them. How old are you? Are you here to say goodbye? You are done studying? You have helped me and many others, but you are now moving on. Such a bittersweet moment. I enjoyed staying with you. Thanks for motivating me to work. Best wishes. Okay. You sense your analogies. I'm here to not miss the last time you're here, to make a toast for your success. I'm here to wish you a new beginning. Okay, so it sounds like you're here today to, I guess, see me off. Is the general consensus I'm getting. And it seems like some of you guys have come to congratulate me, so thank you very much for that. So we have this acronym called ICE, right? And the first thing is ideas, right? The second part is concerns. I was like, okay, so you came in today to see me off, I guess, and say congratulations. Do you have any concerns today? Oh, thank you very much, Jeremiah, for the dollar donation. I appreciate it. All the best. It's nice to see you again. Any concerns that you feel that need to be addressed in particular? Wait, I even messed up. Wow. Some Dr. I am. Wait. I messed up. Your usual consultation is, what brings you in today? And then afterwards, you're supposed to ask ideas of like, oh, do you have any idea what's causing it? Sorry, it's hard to like compare things. Because usually it's like, I came in, oh, I want you to take a look at the slump. And it's like, oh, do you have any idea what's causing it? So right. So if you're here to say, let's try this again. If you're here to say, hello, goodbye, hang out, and congratulations, do you have any ideas how this can be achieved? Yes. Do you have any ideas how we can achieve these things at this appointment? What is the E in ICE? We'll get there. Don't look it up yet. Be patient. Patience is a virtue, people. But yes, do you have any ideas how we can do these things? Usually it's like, do you have any idea what caused a slump? And then you have this open discussion about like the lump and how it got there and things that set it off. And usually when people start presenting with things like, oh, I have flu-like symptoms, and it started after I was at the daycare, and it's like, oh, okay, perhaps it was something you caught there. Sorry. He's practicing on us. So cute. But yeah. You also need to show the muscle you gained in this time. You used to tell us you would like to grow muscles. I wish I grew some muscles. But I think I'm pretty similar to how I was looking 2.5 years ago. Yeah. So no ideas of how we're going to get to our goals today. Thank you so much for the other dollar, for our second dollar, Jeremiah. I appreciate you. Um, yeah, just someone. Congratulations, saying you're an inspiration to give the best and make our dreams happen. Thank you for stopping by. I don't think that we've met formally, but I think I've seen you around, just someone. You also do study with me streams, so um, something we'll talk about, I guess, is this idea of like we are meant to be replaced, and you know, like I said, I've never felt like I was anything unique or special, and there are lots of great people who I hope you can meet along your journey. But yeah, yes, through my thesis for which I want you to cooperate. I was gonna ask you about that at some point, Edith. I think that you were saying that you wanted to submit it, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll put a submission deadline to it. You could, and then I was like, okay, I guess I'll check my Discord and or Instagram, but you never managed to send me anything, so I was like, oh, should I like dock off marks for a late submission? Goals for today: chill, laugh, cry, joke, and so much more. Good. All right, I think that this skit has gone on long enough. But yes, so you ask, what brings you in today? And then you hear about that, and it's like, do you have any ideas what causes it? Or what could have caused this, right? And then they'll tell you about it, and you have a discussion about it. It's like, do you have any concerns? And then, you know, if it's a lump, it's just like, oh, I just want to make sure that it's like not cancer or something like that, right? And it's like, okay, so gives you a direction of like just making sure to kind of evaluate for certain things that the patient finds very important to rule out and give reassurance where necessary, and also validate their concerns, right? And then, so the last part of this is expectations. So once you've gotten what their ideas of what things are and what they're concerned about, it's expectations, which I think that we've kind of established, which is like, yes, I want you to take a look at this. So, and see what can be done for it and what options there are for this. So I imagine that the expectations, which we've talked about, is to chill, laugh, cry, joke, and so much more. So yeah. So that is ice for you folks there, and that is something that has kind of been beaten into my head in a second nature, sort of, but I still sometimes forget it. But yeah, so a little crash course there. But yeah, give me 1 sec. In the meantime, though, I haven't asked you guys yet how you guys are doing and everything. So before we get started with our I gotta get my door really quick, but yeah, before we get started with our first activity, the first thing is, I guess, can you guess what our first activity is? And 2, how was your day and what's been going on with it so far? You tell me, and I will be right back. Oof, out of shape. So many flights of stairs and walked up. But yeah, um, sorry. I just have to grab my door. But yeah. Hello, hello. Okay, but yes. How is everyone doing? What's been going on with you guys? Let's see. Uh, Anybody tell me how they're doing today? And not doing so good today. Wanna calm down myself. And the goodbye stream, I'm not calmed down at all. Oh, let's see if we can fix that. Okay. Sleeping, eating, nap, half an hour, and then study again. That was my day. And for the first activity, you're gonna sing for us, maybe, hopefully. No. So, I kind of fashionably obscured something, but look at this. We can do this, or we can do this. So now you know that it has something to do with my desk. Also, desk reveal. You know, not that you haven't already seen it from this angle, but desk reveal, hand reveal. But yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think is going to go on with the desk? Box reveal. Yeah. So, fun fact, a long time ago, my brother got me a gift set. Going under the table here. And he got me. Oh wait. Before I show it off. Right. So, trivia time. Do you guys know what medical school I go to? Or, yeah, technically I'm still a medical student, right? Yes, hand stream. It would have been cool if I had like the Daft Punk hands right now. Thank you again, Jeremiah, for the $1. I appreciate it. You can type a message and I'll read it if you want, but I appreciate the super chat. Like drawing, I don't know. Oof. You do not want to see me draw. That is not it. But yes, no, you don't know what school I go to. Okay. Been awake since 4 a.m. I'm feeling great, and seeing you live made it 10 times better. Congratulations once more. Thank you. St. George's. Yeah. But do you know? So St. George was just a historic saint of like of the Christian denomination or whatever, or the Christian church, and so lots of things are named St. George's, right? Do you guys know where my school is approximately located? Your medical school is in London. Yeah, London. So, do you guys know the full name of the school? St. George's. Let's see. Hello. I should say hello to some people who have come in. Kazma, Afi, Ashwari, Wexen Liu. Rock, paper, scissors. I don't know how rock, paper, scissors would exactly work. Because if I said like rock, paper, scissors, and I just like threw out something, I would imagine most of you guys would cheat. And also there's a delay on the stream. I got you, Hank. We gotta leave on high notes. Thank you for making this day better, Jeremiah. the best to you. I'm Junya Watanabe. Yeah, I kind of figured your icon was the same as that one, and I remember the icons pretty well. But yeah. Most cute hands, medical school. I don't know, I've got like... Oof, can't really... It's so weird, like, trying to orient myself with a camera. I've got a little cut here. I was swimming, and the lanes are really small, so I like scraped my hand against like the lane or the tile there. So that was a thing. But yeah. Right. So yeah. Nobody knows the full name, but okay. So I go to the St. George's University of London, right? And so accordingly, the school is located in London. And so my brother, I think for one of my birthdays when he came by, he got me this. What to do? Maybe I go over here? Yeah, okay. They got me this. Yeah, that's probably better. And as you can see, I was going to build it for my birthday stream, I guess this year, but I think I was busy. Oh, right, I was super busy studying for the Canadian boards. And so he got me this, no, for Christmas, when he came last Christmas. So not the present Christmas, but the Christmas 2021? Yeah, 2021. And so that's kind of everything. In terms of the last time I saw I saw him in the summer too. But yes, he got me this for Christmas, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll just build this for my birthday in 2 months. And I proceeded to be too busy to build it. I was like, oh, it's okay. There'll be a time. We'll do a chill out stream afterwards exams, and we'll build some Lego together, right? And then it was like, okay, that didn't happen. And so it's like, well, I thought this could decorate the set at some point, but better late than never. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some paper towel just to like wipe off the dust so it doesn't like go everywhere. Lego is so cool. Oof. Oh, look at that dust. Jeez. Ugh. Oof. Okay. So yes. There are actually a fair amount of like ideas and whatnot that come across my mind. I think like most people, right? Very few of the ideas come cheap. It's the execution that matters a lot of times. And so, let's see. Yeah, I figure we would at some point build this together. But yeah, okay. So yeah, and I figured like it would be a good discussion thing to do while like talking to you guys. We could just build Lego for a while and like, you know, discuss anything you want to talk about. And then I know some of you guys, I don't have nails. You got to keep your fingernails short to be professional, right? But yeah, some of you guys left Instagram messages asking questions, so we'll answer that. But yeah, I can kind of have discussions about anything you would like. About anything. There's a smarter way to do this. Okay. But yes, hello Laura, thank you for coming by. I appreciate you, and I have appreciated what you have done for the last couple days, sending people over from your stream. And I've asked them if they see you to give my thanks, but if you're listening to this, you have my personal thanks, saying thank you for being a good person and being someone cool to hang out with and helping out the community, and also sending people over. If you guys haven't already followed Laura yet, Studyistic, please do. I think that you'll really enjoy what she does. But yes. Right. So what was I gonna say here? Right, so we can start building. See what this thing looks like. There's like dust. And we can start our discussion about things. Oof. I hope that the stream doesn't actually run too long, in the sense that we're supposed to like go to a bar later in the evening, and also I haven't eaten lunch yet, so that's a thing that needs to happen. And this looks like a fair bit of pieces. Hopefully it's not too many. We'll see. But yeah, I remember the Lego box and the stream when you talked about it. How fast do you think you will complete the structure? I don't know. Maybe we should place bets now. How long will it take for Aang to build this? London. Originally founded by the Romans over 2,000 years ago, London has grown to become the cultural and economic capital of Britain and one of the world's truly global cities. Famous for its finance, fashion, and arts industry, London is the world's most visited city. London is the world's most visited city and also one of its most culturally diverse. More than 300 languages are spoken by its population of over 8.5 million people. Interesting. Standing on the river's Thames, London's skyline reflects both the city's diverse colorful past and its continued ambition to embrace bold modern architectural statements. Sorry, it's like hard to read because like I've literally got like the mic in my face here and like the books here, and there's like a glare from the lighting. So yeah, there's that. Oh, check the focus. There we go. Yeah. So this is cool. Have any of you guys been to London? Oh, okay. I've been to the... Okay, so it shows a lot of the pictures. I've been to the National Gallery before. I have been to London several times. Big Ben is obviously super famous. I don't think I've ever seen Nelson's column. Or maybe I have, but it's a column, and I don't really recognize what it's for. But, yeah. London Eye, it's like iconic. I think that's on the box, right? We're gonna make that. It's a Ferris wheel, but never been on it. Of course, London Bridge. And yeah. All right. So let's see, where do we start here? Lego brick stuff. Is there like an order for these boxes? Okay. Any of you guys elite builders? And like no pro strats on how to deal with these things? Because it's been a long time since I've built with Legos, in case you haven't checked. But yes, okay. I'm going to be taking an exam soon. I'm going to become a doctor. I'm a little scared. I'm just worried. I guess that's fair, but good luck with your journey. Never been there, but I would love to go there and visit sometime. Some other sites. That's fair. Yeah. Any of you guys? So nobody's been to London before. It's worth checking out. It's gotten to the point though, like last time I wanted to go to the UK. Oh. That's a bit of a story about like last Christmas. What happened was that there was quite a bunch of delays, but anyways, it got to the point where like we're basically trying to avoid going into London at all costs, but it's like the central hub of the UK to get to other places because we had been so many times and we're like, can we like not waste time? We're treading space over London. But yeah, that's just again because of cultural background. But yeah, it's a cool place to visit at least once let's see, how many squares is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, step 1. Okay, so beautiful. Never built Lego. You guys never built a Lego? Okay, so that's a... Why don't we start that as our first poll question then? Have you ever built Lego? We can start off with that. Alright, so the next block is going to be a 4x4. Yeah. Or a 4x1. One of these flags are supposed to be like 4x1s. 4x1s? It would be pretty sad if like I couldn't build this thing and then it's like, wait, are you sure that you're gonna be a doctor? And I'm like, apparently. But I do have to say that building Lego was not a prerequisite. It was not a requirement to get my degree. But yeah. Does it tell me which equipment is in which bag? Because sometimes there's like an index, right? Like which bag contains what. But definitely do not see it. I've never had Legos or built them. And, oh, is that so? Building Lego is so much fun and great for distraction. Yeah, I kind of, when I was in high school, I actually built a few Lego sets just kind of as a nostalgia callback. But, yeah. Two. I think it's in this bag. Yeah, okay, wait. Oh. Bollocks. But okay. It's a good thing I cleared off my desk for the stream. So we have lots of space to work with. Okay, so a 4x4. There we go. Okay, so that's our first kind of piece, I guess. Then we need what? A 4x1, another 8x1. Okay, so that's that, right? It was not a requirement for the degree. That's so funny. Man, I gotta give credit to like streamers who do these kinds of things where they're like doing something but at the same time reading chat, like even playing video games. Because I gotta say, like, it is definitely not very easy to multitask and kind of be focused on building Lego here and and reading and responding and being attentive to you guys in chat. But yeah. So that's that. Okay. All right. There. We're done stage 3. You guys, I guess, can't see very well, which is interesting, right? So I'm using my old phone camera, and I figure it would be pretty high res, but it looks worse than like the Sony Handycam, which is actually lower resolution. But anyways, I just flew from London instead, so haven't seen much of it. I'll be visiting the city in July. Do you have any spots that you would recommend to me? There's a lot of spots. Of course, you have to do the big touristy things if it's your first time, but I think Junya Watanabe is from London and knows the city better than I, and can probably talk about all that stuff. But like, you know, London Bridge, Big Ben, you need to see the Parliament building, right? London Eye, and then there's all sorts of museums and stuff. But yeah, Um, so yeah, it's worth visiting. But nobody nobody has been to the UK, or well, maybe you guys have been to the UK, but not London. But that's kind of unusual because usually, at least if you're a tourist, right, you would cross off the major cities first. Yeah. So that's our next piece. Then, how many dots is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so it's a big one. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to sleep tomorrow. I have an exam I have to study yet too. Sorry, I wanted to be with you for the last live of you. Thanks for stopping by, Kimmy. So good luck with your exam. They may have ghosts to help with multitasking. I wish I had ghosts. Well, probably not, but you know, it could be helpful in this case. Yeah. I don't know. You know, they make the whole joke about like being a streamer is like easy. You just turn on the camera and like go. But I don't know. You know, before you call something easy, I guess it's worth trying it for a day to see how easy it is, I guess. Cause yeah, I think that it could be quite tricky to be both entertaining and engaging with chat at the same time. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm building yet. I don't know what this is yet. But at the same time, right? A lot of people who watch streams on Twitch, they tend to kind of put their streams on in the background and then do other things. And it's more just kind of like company, right? Any of you guys have me on in the background? Are you guys doing things, just lurking around, handling your to-do lists? All right. Hey, I'm taking a break from studying right now and thought I'd stop by. Aw, thank you for stopping by, Juliana. I think, by the way, for those of you guys who don't know, Juliana is probably the oldest person, not person, but like the oldest viewer that is presently here, because I don't know exactly when she came to stream, but she came sub 100, I think, and that is kind of interesting, and I would say that had people not come along during that time and kept me company, I definitely would have quit at some point. So I'm eternally grateful for you guys, whether you came early or whether you just joined yesterday. But I will always remember those of you guys who came when it was just like one-on-one sessions, basically. But yeah. You're cleaning your room. Good for you. Yeah. Will this be the last live streaming? Right, so I've gotten that a few times. The answer is yes. So, there's no easy way to say it, but yeah. So, I think that there's like an artist whose whole thing is like you need to... Part of the beauty of a rose is the fact that it blooms and then it withers. And part of it is... And one of the reasons why we really appreciate it is the fact that it's not everlasting. But yeah. Studyistic. I have been in London I think you mean once. Here in Belgium, you can take the train that drives under the sea called the Eurostar. Oh, yeah. So I think I've been to Belgium, and I think I took the train to France, or sorry, like the undersea, like ship or whatever, or transit. It was a long time when I was quite young, between like France and the UK, and that was kind of cool because like the UK is kind of an island. It's definitely a cool place to visit, and it is kind of cool how like the UK has found a way to connect itself to the rest of Europe, albeit it is not part of the EU anymore, and that caused some tricky stuff with regards to the medical education. But yeah, that's a kind of cool thing we always found about Europe. Like, as North Americans, like, it's very connected. And I remember sitting on a plane in Canada where basically a guy was like, man, I drove for 4 hours to get between cities and it just took so long. You know, in that time I could have crossed like 3 countries in Europe, and it was like, oh, okay. Because he thought that was just one city away, right? Between like our major city of like Montreal and like was it Montreal like 8 hours or something? Anyways, the whole point is our major cities in Canada are very far apart a lot of times, and so it can take hours to get there, whereas there are certain countries where you can get through them and you can get across countries within hours, you know? Man, this is like riding a bike in some ways, where it's like, oh, how do I do this? And then, like, there's probably a kid who's like cringing, being like, oh, boomers don't know how to do anything. It's like, in some ways I feel like, you ever have this where like you help your parents like work the TV or something? It's like, oh, Ang, can you fix the TV? You know how to use tech and stuff, right? Are you guys the techie people in the household? Or at least the techie people for your parents? I would think that's often the case. We fulfill as children. Yes, we first go through France with the train. Ah, yes, okay, that's correct. A submarine? No, was it a train or was it? Because I remember like, I think that you like drive underwater basically, and it was just like an underwater bridge. Kind of like what Elon Musk is like proposing with like LA, building like underground tunnels or whatever. But yeah, I remember being in a car and it was just like your own car and you'd be under the ocean. I don't remember if we were like being moved across the ocean or like on like a treadmill or something. You know, like if you've ever seen like in shopping carts or in supermarkets, sometimes you'll put the car onto something and then like it will move the shopping cart for you. But it's been a long time. But it's cool. Okay. Okay, I gotta go. Though I've only been here a few months, it was great staying with you, Ang, and everyone here, and love this community. We'll miss this, and the best for your future. Thank you. You aren't a flower, for goodness sake? Eh? I'm not a flower? I would hope that I'm a person and not a flower. I don't know what you mean by that. It's comfortable here? I hope that you're comfortable. If you're feeling uncomfortable, let me know, and I will try to accommodate. But yeah. Can I be the same handsome and cool guy in my next life? I think you're... I was gonna say the Mr. Rogers response to this when I heard that is like, oh, you're pretty cool. I think you're pretty cool as you are, you know? You're the best at being you, right? And I think you're okay the way you are. Finding things. It does start to concern me that like at some point I'm gonna be old and like I'm gonna be like, how do I turn on my computer? How does streaming work? You know? I'm not gonna lie, like I did a presentation at some point. I think I told you guys about it. Because of like, I felt that was the first time I felt like I was a boomer in a way, like it's a real topic that I felt boomer about, and that was vaping. And since that we get a lot of education on not smoking, right? But like, because that was like a thing teenagers do, and they tell you not to do it, of course, but like, yeah, and there was something I was familiar with. But the idea of like e-cigarettes and vape, it didn't exist so much when I was in high school, and so I didn't know all that much, and then suddenly I'm like, I don't know how to counsel, you know, teenagers on like the kinds of pressures that they're facing. I think that's an important thing to do, I guess, especially as especially those in pediatrics, right? They have to know what's up and the kind of struggles the modern pediatric patient is facing. So what I'm looking for right now is, I don't know if you can see the manual very well, but they're two black, smooth, square pieces. And I haven't really been able to find them. So that's concerning. Oh, it's here. Okay. Okay. I need to go, Ang. Thank you for your nice company. Thank you for stopping by, Studyistic. Take care. Good luck with your PhD. All the best. And again, please follow Laura if you have not done so already. It's my brother who always needs to fix something, not me yet, Hing. Ah, okay. Older brother, younger brother? How are you doing with Lego? Maybe you can describe what you're doing. Yeah, perhaps. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to follow the instructions the best I can. I still don't really know what this is yet, but I guess it's the base. That would be my best guess on things. But yeah. I think I saw somebody was saying that they were cleaning the room, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I need to clean my apartment up because I'm moving, and that's something that needs to be taken care of, for sure. Yeah. Something wrong. This is why they said to get a pry piece online, because you will sometimes put the wrong piece in and have to extract it. So I guess this was the wrong piece. I think I'm looking for, it's a 2-piece or a 4-piece? It's a 2-piece, okay. It's a 2 and then a 4 to make a 6, got it. Yeah. I wonder, maybe this is one of those things where it's like, it was one of those, it was also a debate, right, where it's like, oh, I could theoretically just be like, build Lego with me, start the timer, and then we go into silent mode, but I feel like today would be an appropriate day to just kind of be inefficient with working. But at the same time, I guess this is why they tell you not to multitask, right? Because if you're trying to multitask, you end up doing both things pretty lousily. At least that is my current experience, where I am not doing especially well with building, and perhaps not very well addressing you guys in the chat. Yeah. Let's see. Good luck, Ang. Maybe I can come back later, and I'm very happy for you right now. Two YouTubers I'm a big fan of in this environment. I love you both so much. Aw. I think you're pretty cool as well, Tuba. Branny, so you won't continue study streams? There may be lots of things to study even after graduating. Please continue. I don't... Eh. So that's kind of a big discussion that I want to have with you guys at some point about, like, this idea of, like, you know, continuing streaming and whatnot. And the reality is that, like, when you're working 60, 80 hours a week, a lot of the times you'll see residents who are just, if you've finished seeing your patients for the day, you're still on call, so you still have to be at the hospital, but you'll see a lot of people just reading in the hospital. And so I imagine that I won't be doing much in the way of home study. Hopefully I don't have to do all that much more. But yeah. There's a thunderstorm coming. Ah. Okay. I especially like the stream too. You, Ang, and all you guys are amazing. But yeah. Whoa. Ang, I sent an Insta message. We'll get to the Instagram stuff, I guess, in a bit. I'm doing some decluttering as well. Do you guys have messy rooms right now? Is your room nice and tidy? For me, my room is very, very not tidy at all. Yeah. Guys, I have lots of work to do, like a lot, so I'll leave so I can continue. Ang, I've only been here for weeks, but thank you so much for everything, and I wish you the best. Bye. Take care. Good luck with everything you're working on. I understand, like, going into this, that a lot of you guys probably, this is not what you signed up for, and so I would get if you guys, you know, need to leave, right? Because you guys come here not as a social stream, right, or just hanging out, right? You guys come here because you have got work to do, and that's totally fair, right? Any of you guys actually watch, like, live streamers? There's, like, just talking streamers, and then there are gamer streamers, and then there are people that game, and they're basically just talking, but, like, you know, with World of Warcraft, you can kind of limbo, like, you can idle game a lot of times, and it's kind of just something that exists in the background. And I've seen that actually, that's an interesting thing, like with like TikToks and stuff, where people will talk and then there will be like a video game in the second half, and I guess it's just kind of to make sure that there's something visually going on while a person is talking, and that keeps it a little bit more engaging to watch. But yeah, all this to say that if you need to go and do your studies, then I think that that's a more than reasonable thing to do. But yeah. Okay. That's a really long piece. So yeah, I'm gonna say that this is probably just the whole baseline. I'm kind of glad. So one of the concerns I had with building the set was that it would be an affair that would be very quick if it wasn't very many pieces. I'm like, oh, what if this only lasts like 15 minutes? However, I'm starting to feel the other end of that, where it's like, what if this goes on too long? And what if I'm like, oh, I can't finish this? That's it, guys. But hopefully we'll get it done. Let's see. Two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Sometimes I have to stop and look, and I'm like, okay, I actually need to see what's going on. Because I'm like, oh, did I screw up something? Unfortunately not. Okay. Okay. like this. Okay, so it's kind of confusing to like understand what's going on sometimes with the Lego manual as well, because like this is a 3D image, but it's also like put onto a 2D instruction manual. But yeah. But I wonder if the title of this stream could also be called like Boomer Struggles to Build Lego. Anyways. Naj, mine's always tidy. I can't have a single thing unarranged. I'm a clean freak, so my room can't be messy. I guess if you guys are disciplined enough to come to a study with me stream, you guys can probably handle having a neat room. Not so much me. Yeah. Yeah. I just keep this part of my apartment fairly organized, if you can call it that. Or it's the most organized part of my apartment, at least, because that's on display. But if the camera ever drops, it's like a huge mess. Yeah. My friend thinks I've got OCD. Some of us just like things organized. I don't know. It depends. Like, you can be organized, but some people actually do have OCD, right? And like obsessively need to, like they obsess over things and they have the compulsion to constantly need to clean things, right? So, you know, it's something to, it's not always so clear cut sometimes, I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, I think you are a smart, handsome character from the books. I was gonna say, in Harry Potter, Dumbledore was, you know, smart, right? But he's not the main character. Right, so some context for you guys. Yesterday we were having this discussion about, about whether or not you feel like the main character in your lives. And I think that the majority of you guys said that you did, but I was mentioning that because I've had the stream, I've realized in a way, like, I don't feel like the main character of the stream at all, because to each of you guys, I'm just a strange guy on your screen. I'm a screensaver. I'm the background for you guys, right? And so, yeah, I am the side character to you all. But the real message of it all is that, like, we don't all live in one story. There are many stories that exist, and part of that is also, it's important to remember because, like, you know, everybody's got their own story, and your story isn't the only one. And so, you know, just because you have a story doesn't mean it's the only one, and it doesn't mean it's the only important story. There are other important stories that exist, you know? Yeah. But yeah. Hi, and this is my 5th live session with you. I'm new at your channel. It's sad to me. Literally, I found the best one study with me, but now you're going. All the best for your new journey. Thank you for being here and doing study with me stream, saying it's really good to be here with you, and everyone wish you and everyone the best of luck with your future. Thank you both of you guys. Once I start college, which is in a year or so, I will start study streaming until I finish med school too. Yeah. Okay, I guess we might as well like have that discussion on, like, you know, leaving and whether that's sad or anything. But like, I think, so you guys are probably old enough to like, or yeah, you guys are old enough. Hopefully like Taylor Swift is not like boomer music to you guys. But like, when Taylor Swift like released her song, like Never Ever Gonna Get Back Together or whatever, right? Um, there was kind of like this big debate about, you know, if she could like mature her image up, because people were saying that like she's getting quite old to like, yeah, she's getting quite old to be doing that kind of teen drama, heartbreak story. And, you know, like it's she's outgrown the image in a way. And so I think that in a way, right, it's one thing for me to try and continue on, but even if I, or rather, even if I wanted to, I don't know if that would necessarily be the best thing, because, you know, there would be new people born, new students who could connect with you guys, or like, you know, connect with high school students, for example, better than I could, because they would be in high school as well, or they would be, you know, not as old as me. Whereas for me, I am, you know, almost 10 years removed from high school. So that is something to think about, right? So, you know, like right now, some of you guys are 10 years younger than me, literally. And a lot happens in a decade. And so it's that whole thing of like, oh, could you imagine like imagine like Homer Simpson, right? Somebody who looks like Homer Simpson. If I was like a balding fat man, right? Streaming. I don't think that you guys would necessarily click on this, especially, you know, imagine if you were in high school for the first time. I don't think that you would click on a study with me stream if I look like that. And I think that a lot of you guys clicked on me because apparently I don't look my age, right? I'm a Swiftie. Age is just a number. Yeah, but like, I agree. Age is a number, but at the same time, like, the experiences that I've had don't necessarily line up with what you guys have experienced. Like, for instance, you know, going to virtual Zoom school might be a completely foreign idea to some people, right? If they had never experienced it before. And I didn't go to high school, so I don't know what you guys did during the lockdowns and whatnot, right? Were you guys meeting up with your heartthrob crushes or whatever during the time? Because I'd imagine, right? Like, you know, this is the whole thing of like, back in my day, we actually had to like cut class if we wanted to like go hang out with our friends. But like with Zoom classes, you can just sign in on your phone, right? So I don't know. But it's this idea of like, you will connect with people who are similar in age group to you, right? And I'm already in my late 20s, if you think about it, right? I just realized I've been looking for the wrong piece. I am looking for this piece. Right here, this piece. Okay, and then, yeah. Back in my days, well, how old are you? Exactly. How old do you guys think I am? I don't mind revealing, but I always ask the chat, right? Let's see. That's there. That's there. Okay. I never did Zoom class? You never did Zoom class? As in, like, I never did it, as in I never turned up? Or, like, your school just never did it and made you do in person the whole time, which I think would be more unusual, to be honest. 25, 26 maybe. 26 maybe. 24, 25, 27, 29. And you say 10 years since... Alright, I guess some of you guys, like, have alluded to it, right? And communicate that. But if I didn't tell you guys that, right? If you had just looked at me, would you have said these numbers, right? Or are you using data to inform your decision? And most people won't be able to relate to teens who went through high school during lockdown. The high school experience was so different from the other generation. And that's exactly my point, right? That, like, you guys should have people that you can connect with, right? And people you can connect with are often people that have had similar experiences as you. And we look for that, right? Naturally. One of the things that we talk about, well, at least for me growing up, was this idea, and I think a lot of us have experienced it, right? Where, like, when I was younger, it was like, oh, I could feel like Linkin Park was speaking to me, right? Going through the things that I was going through and the struggles that I'm facing now. And I've mentioned this, where, like, Billie Eilish, I guess, is like a voice of, you know, a younger generation than me, as to, like, what Avril was to me, you know? And it's important to recognize that, like, even if you might want to be a certain place, there is a natural way of things, right? Like, it would be inappropriate, right, if I was doing, like, teen pop music right now, right? You would be like, doesn't quite fit, you know? I would say 17 if I only saw your photo. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's one, and that could be one of the reasons why, like, some of you guys click on, right? Because when you first see my face on a stream, you probably don't think I'm as old as I am, right? And that's, I don't know. Like, I think that, yeah, you guys probably hang out with a lot of other study tubers, right? I think Woojin, like, just graduated high school, and so did you guys feel that you could connect with the struggle as a fellow high school student if you guys are in high school? Or similarly, people who are going through what you're going through. So those of you who, I don't know if you guys would still be here, anybody who was studying for the NEET, but for those of you in India who are preparing for the NEET, or pre-medical students, as you call them, right? I would imagine that you'd be able to connect with the people that are going through that in the moment, whereas I can only speak from my experience from afar, you know? It's not as close. I kind of forgot what step I was on, to be honest. This. Okay, yeah, there we go. I guess another thing would be, actually, you know, South Park had a whole, yeah, again, like, how many of you guys watch South Park, right? And it's this idea of, like, connecting with your audience, of like, oh, they like this thing too. They like Minecraft as well. One of the jokes in South Park was that they kind of put parental locks and they keep parents out of their stuff by, like, password protecting it with Minecraft. Because it's like, how is like your parent ever gonna figure out how to build, like, a house in Minecraft? And that's kind of me, because I never played Minecraft, right? And so, you know, if you said, like, oh, I've managed to create a lock that requires you to, like, I don't know, yeah, build a house in Minecraft, then, or get diamond or something, I would not be able to crack that lock, you know? And do you get YouTube notifications on your phone? Depending, not all of the time. Like, what do you mean? If I wouldn't know your age and just look at you, I would say you're like 22. Yeah. I think that would be unreasonable. I hope that none of you guys are like, oh, you look like you're 40. That would, well, I don't know. I don't want to look like I'm 40. I don't want to look like I am older than my age, I guess would be a point to say. I guess I can see why, like, parents like giving kids Lego, assuming that they don't eat the pieces. Because you can kind of just give them, like, all these things, and then it'll just keep them quiet for a while. Right, that's a thing, parenting. You know, I guess it's a similar thing of, like, parents like parent groups, where they can have discussions of, like, oh yeah, managing the kids. I like to put my kid in front of the iPad, so if they don't, you know, make such a fuss or whatever. I'm looking for a 2x1 black in the pile. I have no idea where it is. I've never played Minecraft either. Looks like I'm a boomer too. Your logic isn't helping you much. Well, I mean, it's not what I'm saying. Well, again, would you be able to connect with your generation? And, you know, this is the idea of, like, being a voice of a generation often means being accessible and attuned to the things that the common or the mass is doing, right? And if I'm not doing what mass, you know, teenagers are doing in a given moment, right, then it's not a thing. Or it's hard for me to represent something or connect with people of that age demographic, right, if I have no shared experiences in that regard. 2x1. Where is our 2x1 piece? Have I used all my 2x1 black pieces up? Am I genuinely? Usually Lego gives you, like, extra pieces as opposed to not enough. What is glioblastoma? Often a brain tumor. I loved K-pop when I was in college, XOL. Yeah, that's another thing, right? Like, K-pop was... If you are from an age before K-pop, right, then you would not be able to necessarily have discussions about K-pop or know what the kids are talking about. Or, by the way, when I refer to people as kids, I take it from the pediatric definition, right, where it's like people who are under the age of 18. I think that was something that came up as well, and then you guys were like, oh, you're condescending that way and assuming everyone's a child, and I'm like, no, I use the term in, like, the medical sense of, like, pediatricians see people basically 0 to 18, and then you're considered an adult at 18 and a child below that. But yes. Did I say that? Before going to bed, I want to say thank you. I want to say that you're a very good person, smart and hardworking. We think that you will become a good doctor. Thank you for your work. We wish you good luck and happiness. Thank you for being here. Have a good night. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like my stance on continuing on with at least this kind of activity. There will be new high school students, there will be new medical students. I mean, one of the things that I was going to discuss was like, you know, if you look at Med Guy, so that's like a streamer, and I was like, oh, that's a new name that I hadn't seen before. And I guess my point is like, people come up and study with me, contemporaries along my time, right? Whether that was KG Hoppers or Woojin or Med Guy, right? They've easily blown past me, right, in terms of popularity and whatnot. And I'm okay with that. But it was just this idea of like, there's going to be new medical students every year. And so I think that they will better represent a modern experience, right? And also are able to connect with people because, yeah, they'll be closer in age, you know? Okay. Check your YouTube notifications. Did get my comment. We just have 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes. I also don't check my notifications while I'm on stream generally. I did not get any notifications on YouTube. We have just 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't know where you commented, Edith. But yeah. I'm debating on taking a pause on this whole Lego building thing. Perhaps we can do our Q&A stuff right now while this chills out for a bit. So yeah, let's go transition back for now on the Q&A that I promised you guys. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the Q&A. So I guess now I'll answer anything lingering on. But let's see what the Instagram questions are. The first question was, how do you feel? I feel happy that hopefully my medical school journey is ending and I can finally proceed to being a doctor and taking the next step with my career. I also feel better today because I guess I haven't talked about the exam, but the exam went much better today. And so the question is whether or not it went well enough today to compensate for yesterday's disaster that perhaps I should be able to pass and no more medical school studying. So yeah. Next question. Are you sad that your channel comes to an end? Yeah. I think that's bittersweet. I have a goodbye video on my channel about like why, yeah, goodbyes are kind of bittersweet a lot of times, but like I said, I'm happy to, I guess, it would be bad if I was not ready to move on in a way, and then I would be trying to cling to something that's already passing. Yeah, that's the other thing of like, it would be bad for me to like, no, I'm gonna stay on stream forever and continue to talk with high schoolers as like a 50-year-old guy, you know? I don't think that, you know, 18-year-olds or 15-year-olds or whatever would, again, connect as well or want to engage as much with a 50-year-old compared to a 25-year-old, you know? So, there's that. Yeah, it's sad that things end sometimes, but it's appropriate for things to end. It's the appropriate thing to happen, I guess, you know? So yeah. I just finished folding my laundry, but I gotta go now. Got school. I just want to say before I go, I really do appreciate you being here with us. You mean a lot to us. Wish you the very best. Thank you very much, Faye. Good work on folding your laundry. You made a lot more progress than I did. Yeah. This might put a wrench in some of the next things that, or the next thing that I wanted to do afterwards, the Q&A or whatever, the ask me anything, but we'll see. But have a good night. Right, let's see. So that was my response to, are you sad that the channel is coming to an end? Yeah, in some ways, but it's the right thing. Finals, what do you mean? Oh, final, as in, yes, this is the final stream. I finished, for those of you guys who are joining, I've just done, theoretically, my final exam ever for medical school. If I pass, fingers crossed that I do. So that will be the end of my medical student study with me days and whatnot. So there's that. And are you replying to your DMs? Or, I guess I will get to my DMs, but I'm replying to, so on Instagram, I put up a story that you could send questions to anonymously, I think. And so I'm just reading those out now. Why final? I think we went over that. It's, I'm at the end of my medical school journey. It would be at some point where it'd be like, I think that at some point it would get sad and inappropriate for like me to be connecting with teenagers in the way that I do presently as a older person. And I think like, yeah, I don't know, I think that it's good to progress in some way and move on and sort of, we are meant to be replaced, right? You know, if we weren't replaceable, then systems would collapse. One of the things we talk about in medicine is the fact that, particularly in the UK, the NHS isn't dependent on exceptional people, it's dependent on the system working, and that any competently trained person should be able to do that role. Because if we depended on exceptionalism of one person, then the whole system would collapse, right? And similarly, if all of study with me depended on one person, or all your studies depend on one person, then everything would go haywire if that person ever left. But that's not the case, right? We train doctors all the time. There are new people who are entering school, and there are new people who will be starting study with me streams. So yeah, that's kind of the nature of things, and so that is why it's final. Let's see. It's important to move on in life. Change is always difficult. I hope that it becomes, so like officially, I cannot call myself Dr. Ang, because I don't earn my degree until I pass my exams and they award me my degree. Even after you pass your exams, they still have to give you a piece of paper, right, saying that you're a doctor, for you to use it. But I did mention that like, I've gotten more used to people just being like, okay, doctor, or whatever. Because when you start on the wards the first time, you're just like, don't call me that. Like, I'm not ready, because like, you know, you'll go on the ward and then you'll be like, oh, how's the patient doing? And then it's like, okay, there's, you know, so-and-so, and they seem, their blood pressure's a bit low, and then it's like, okay, maybe, we can start some IV fluids to make sure that blood pressure doesn't drop. And then nurses will be like, okay, doctor. And they're like, no, 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 no. The first time you hear that, you're like, no, don't call me that, med student. But as you, I guess, see more patients and whatnot, and you also have time limitations, it's gone to the point where, you know, you'll talk to a patient, you'll introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Ang. I'm one of the medical students here. I've been asked to see you. And then you have your history of like how they're doing and everything like that. But then, you know, afterwards, everything, you'll just like, okay, we'll talk it over in rounds, and then we'll get the plan moving forward for the day. And then you'll walk out the room and they'll be like, okay, thanks, doc. And it's like, no, but you just kind of have to bounce between rooms. So I've gotten less, I guess, less sensitive about it. Sorry for interrupting. Did I get a notification? Yeah, I got a notification about a number. You sent me a number. Right. So more responses. Why final? I got sidetracked there. I didn't have anything to ask, but mind sharing your skincare routine, please? Okay, right. I saw this question and I was like, okay, that's something that I can show off, kind of. It's supposed to be like, I was gonna make a short on it at some point, but equipment-wise, I'll just quickly have like I use. Okay, skincare routine stuff. Turn off the camera. Yeah, so facial cleanser. So all this to say that I only started like doing this September. Before this, I just used soap to wash my face, and like, yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, and then basically this is gonna be completely credited to Ali Abdal, who is an okay YouTuber, but yeah, he actually had a quick guide to skincare for someone like me. So yes, facial cleanser, CeraVe, then moisturizer, AM, PM by CeraVe, and the AM just has sunblock in it for sun protection. I don't always wear it, especially when I go on stream and I'm just studying for the day, because yeah, that's basically, there's no sun in here, right? And I find that the sunscreen kind of is annoying to sit on your face, so sometimes it just PM in the morning as well, just moisturizer. And then supposedly a retinoid helps. This is called Differengel Adapalene, and so that's what I've been using. I'm not the best with keeping up with it all the time, but when I feel like being less of a degenerate, supposedly this stuff is good. And that is the skincare routine of Aang, sometimes. Supposedly, because like you'll hear like a lot of things with skincare, and like a lot of it is not necessarily evidence-based. And supposedly keeping your pores clean, keeping your skin hydrated, and retinoids are evidence-based to help with keeping your skin not all inflamed and dry. But yes, so that's that's basically it. Type it in the receive box, please. What receive box are you talking about, Edith? I'm having a lot of troubles following what you mean, Edith. Like, if you can send me a DM, like with detailed instructions, that would probably be a lot easier to figure out. Yeah. So yes, skincare routine by Aang. So that's my AMA on that matter. Okay. While you keep your old streams up on your channel, please do. Thanks. Sure. I mean, it's more work for me to take it down, so I guess, yeah. Please go to send anywhere and type it in the receive box, please. It's time. What is go to send anywhere? Are you typing a link into chat, Edith? Because if you are typing a link into chat, it doesn't come through. It doesn't actually show. So there's that. Different acne treatment gel. Yeah. What about you guys? Do you guys have similar skincare routines? Do you guys have acne? How is everyone's skin? My skin today was very dry, actually, so I actually put moisturizer on. And I've noticed that. I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting older and my skin actually feels dry and painful, but it was literally only afterwards I started using moisturizing gel or like moisturizing cream. I'm like, oh, this actually really hurts when I don't use it sometimes, and my skin gets red. Yeah. Anyways, hello, Choku. That can't be DM. Send anywhere is the site you need to go to. Oh, okay. Send anywhere. We're going to be following the advice of Edith, and we're going to go on this rat race, and hopefully it's worth going to. But yes, so I'm going to input the key that was given to me. You couldn't have given me like context to this beforehand and made this more scripted, but yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna download. This is like how to get a virus 101. Clicking on like random links that people send you. But yeah. Okay. Thesis by an ink station. Oh, it's a video. Okay. Oh geez, it's actually really long. Okay. So we'll let that download. Are you happy now, Edith? We'll see what this goes on to do. But yeah. Yeah. Congratulations, Ang, for going through one of the hardest exams in life. Hope I'll see you again in the future. Eat well, be healthy. Goodbye, dog. Thank you, Ashwari. Thank you for stopping by. Nor, can't join today, but just wanted to wish you the best of luck on the next part of your journey, Ang. Thanks for being our study buddy. Thank you for being by and being my study buddy. My skin is so bad, but I still don't use anything. I'm just too lazy. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, my skin, like, as a teenager, I did have acne, but I just use soap and, like, wash my face every day and hope that the acne would get better. But yes, hacking. This is 100% a way to get, like, a virus and how I get doxxed and everything like that. So, in the future, yeah, this is not something that I would do. You know, if this was a video... So, apparently, Edith has constructed a video for us to watch today, I guess, which we can react to. But I was gonna say, if you made a video, you could have just uploaded it to YouTube yourself and then sent me a link, and then I could have watched that. Like, with me sounds like a good ASMR thingy. There have been shorts I've seen that are like that. But yeah. Yeah. Sad to say goodbye. Happy I could meet you online. Best of luck. Thank you, Aliv. Take care. I have a skincare routine, but sometimes I'm too lazy to do it. I think that's the thing. Like, in order to build a habit and to actually do it every single day is not an easy thing, right? I mean, the only habit I've been consistent with for the last 4 years is basically studying every day. And so, yeah. if you can do anything daily, that's very impressive. No, well, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I brush my teeth every day too, so there's that. But still, that's it's hard to build habits that you do every single day. But yeah, you guys, do you upload the Lego on Insta when it's complete? Wish you good health and prosperity. Okay. My skincare routine is really basic, similar to yours. Sometimes I do have acne, especially when I'm too stressed out. I get acne too. I think most of it has cleared up right now, but it happens sometimes. Benzoyl peroxide is the main boss for me. Yeah, benzoyl peroxide is one of the first things that, yeah, basically the first thing you can do, aside from keeping your face clean, of course, when you have acne. Yeah. Anybody else want to drop some of that skincare knowledge bombs into chat? Because like the extent of dermatological knowledge I have is actually very limited, especially like with the cosmetic side of things. Acne was never a problem for me unless I didn't shower for like 3 days in the summer. Rare case scenario. This is true. Okay, so yes, skincare routine. That was the question. If nobody wants to add anything to that. Next one. Ever had social anxiety? How can one cope with it? How did you cope with your stresses in med school? Okay. So the first one. Ever had social anxiety? Yes. I think it's been mentioned on stream that I seem like a very shy person. I think that I'm a shy person, and of course, yeah, sometimes, of course, like presenting was a challenging thing for me growing up. And these are also similar things, right? Like sometimes challenges in hindsight don't necessarily feel the same as they did in the moment, and it's hard to connect with that feeling in the past. And so, you know, if you're dealing with presenting challenges, how I've gotten slightly better at it is just a lot of repetitions and practice. It's like lifting weights or any skill really, but I often refer to like the gym because that's my background, where, you know, it's hard to lift weight, but if you keep doing it and doing it, it gets easier, like most things in life. But yeah, I can definitely remember a time where public speaking was a difficult thing. Presenting myself was a very, very difficult thing. And I would say that in fact, when I gave it's interesting, right? Because when I gave my, you know, when you do residency interviews, one of the things you'll get asked is like, what is your biggest weakness? And for me, my answer involved saying things like, I think that my biggest weakness is actually presenting myself and communicating ideas, in the sense that I have a lot of troubles doing that. And I really feel like I have troubles expressing myself sometimes. Because you'll learn that sometimes it's not enough just to be smart, but it's important to be able to communicate your thoughts and ideas, because if it's just all up here, then it doesn't really matter. And yeah, I have a lot of troubles. If you've ever seen some of my videos, they're very awkward sometimes. And if you ever see a video that's like a minute long, I've probably taped over it like for hours at a time. But that's the best take that I could do. So yeah, I'm very, very poor at presenting myself, and I get anxious over it because I'm not very good at it. So yeah, that's kind of me. And I don't know if I was ever anxious socially though. Like, well, I mean, I was anxious about presenting, but anxious in terms of like going outside, like in an agoraphobia or social phobia kind of way, not so much. Sometimes you just don't want to interact with people, but that's a different thing. Hey Ang, as a high schooler, I wanted some advice. How can I break a bad habit? What would be your approach? I think that a behavioral psychologist is probably the best person to, well, it's who I would think of. I'm sure you can search things up, but usually what comes to mind when I think of habits is conditioning. And so there's this idea of like you stop doing the thing. You replace the motivation for you to do. You know, if like, if the nicotine is why you smoke, right? Then you replace the habit with a nicotine patch sometimes, and that helps quit with the smoking, right? So this way the reward is replaced by another behavior. And sometimes a lot of people, I'm not specialized in addiction, but they talk about this where, you know, addiction has a social component to it for sure, where, you know, if people feel that they are getting something from their drug addiction that they cannot get from elsewhere, then, you know, we need to find ways where people can have meaningful and worthwhile things that keep them clean in some ways. But yeah. Thanks for the study stream. The interview was kind of fun too. Take care, everyone. Maybe I'll see you in other study streams. I'll miss you, Edith. Thank you for stopping by, Janet. I appreciate you. I appreciate your membership for being subscribed as a member for so long as an irregular. Hello, Preeti. Any tips on avoiding bad people? Sometimes you gotta trust your gut, but you know, if they're bad, then just don't interact with them, or try not to. No matter how friendly they seem, they actually aren't. But yeah, sometimes you just, sometimes you get burned, but you know, it's that whole thing of like, we say that we learn a lot in medicine on the wards, because when you learn a textbook presentation of a disease, it's like one specific way, but you'll realize that there's a lot of variations to people in a population, and so you get a lot better at spotting patterns that get you concerned with certain diagnoses. And so yeah, with avoiding bad people, live and learn. I think live streams devolved your social skills. I wonder, well, that's rude to say, but I think that it was a lot worse before live streaming in terms of presenting myself. I was a lot more shy, I guess. Yeah. So I wouldn't say that it's made it worse. If anything, yeah, I hope that it hasn't made my social skills worse. Have you noticed it get worse over the streams? But yeah. Okay, the next one was, how can you cope with social anxiety? Yeah, having important coping skills are... Yeah, having coping skills is important. That's what I want to say. I can't say that I've ever had social anxiety, so I don't know how I cope with it. But everything in moderation, right? Usually when something is overwhelming, the whole thing is to try and break it up into parts, right? And just take the part that you're, you know, the smallest part possible, and seeing that like you can do it, and that little bit shows that like you can make progress and take one step forward. And if you need to take a step back and recover, that's also okay. So yeah. How did you cope with your stresses in med school? I can't say that I always coped with it well, but part of it was having friends and family that they could talk to, and part of it was the stream. The stream was created out of necessity. Oh, so this is Aang's origin story if you guys don't know. So what happened was that there was lockdown, and I had never really studied in my own room before, but we had to because lockdowns happened. And so I was like, well, if I can't have a library, then I'll make a library in my room. And so I just turned on my camera, and people like Juliana came along and so forth, and here we are now, 7,000 people strong, I guess, and it's helped me get through things. I don't know, I would think, right, with the way I was heading before the stream, I would have failed out of medical school. So in a way, I'm eternally grateful for the stream, because I can say that it saved me from dropping out. will you do anything on this channel? Okay. Right, so this kind of came up. I think some of you guys were like, do live streams, do videos and stuff like that. I think I've explained already where, like, one, scheduling wise, the streaming doesn't work, and two, it's not necessarily like what I think would be best for you guys, and also best for me to continue doing in a lot of ways. But in terms of other content, I mean, I have a video on my channel called Why I Don't Want to Be a YouTuber, in the sense that, like, you know, if I wanted to go into entertainment and production, I would have done that. Part of me regrets, like, well, not regrets, but part of me plays fantasy, sometimes make believe, where it's like, what if I went into the entertainment industry? What if I opted to do further musical training? You know, maybe I would have never made it, but I got offered one time to be like, oh, do you want to take this on, the entertainment industry? And it was like, another time my parents just said no for me. But I think it would have been fun to have taken some time to just see where that life journey would have gone. And it's that thing of, like, in life we have many branches that can take us in different directions, but for me, I opted to go down this way. And I was just watching one of those, like, talent shows where, like, they are basically making a boy group together, and, like, the auditions and everything like that, and they're all younger than me now, right? And so, you know, when I see them and they're like 19, 20 and stuff like that, I was like, oh, what could have been at that time? Where would I be now? But no, I'm happy kind of pursuing the path that I am, being a physician as opposed to being an entertainer. And I think that entertainment is important, and I would not be here without entertainment that has saved my life. So yeah, I think that you can make an impact on this world and do meaningful things with your life in many, many different fields. But where I was going with this before I got all tangential was the fact that YouTube has always been secondary to kind of my studies. When I was in medical school, those things went hand in hand with the study with me streams. But as you can see, my upload schedule and activities are very random and irregular, and not very good a lot of times, because it just needs to come out sometimes, like when I release stuff, because otherwise it will never come out. But yeah, one of the things I talk about is, one, I don't want to be, well, yeah, I don't necessarily have the bandwidth to be an entertainer, like, as something that I'm actively pursuing. Maybe I would do it just for fun, but doing things just for fun can be difficult when you have other commitments, right? So in the case of medical school, right? Medical school is the first priority, and if I want to be an entertainer, it would always come second, right? And so it's hard to please and be a good entertainer when you have other priorities that triumph over it, you know? So that's kind of everything regarding the production side of things. The other thing was, like, usually when I make a video or something like that, it's because I felt I had something to say, something I wanted to share. But you'll see that a lot of YouTubers will fall off over time. I think somebody mentioned go do vlogs and stuff like that. But part of the reason why we're able to live the lives we have is because it's, like, repetitious, and this is our specialization, right? And so once you've seen, you know, a get ready with me so many times, or somebody's daily vlog, or what their day in the life is so many times, right? There's only so much content there, you know? Like, we could say that day in the life vlogs, they give empathy towards different ways of life, and I think there is value to them. But afterwards, the third one, it's like, okay, this is how people live. How much value does that bring to people, you know? And then I think that's why a lot of YouTubers do fall off, because they only have so much to offer. And, that's what expertise is. You have a finite expertise. And once you've offered your service, say you're a surgeon, for example, and you cut out gallbladders, once you've offered that service to the person and they've gotten their gallbladder cut out, it's not like you're going to cut out their gallbladder again because they don't have it. You see more people down the line. The difference is when you produce a video that is, that holds some value. For instance, like why I don't want to be a YouTuber. That's all I have to say on it. It's not as if I can offer that service to another person beyond the first upload, right? Without it just being repetitive, Yeah. Well, Lang, I gotta go. Thank you so much for this live stream. Thanks to you, I've been very focused and get really high grades. I wish you the best. Wish the best for you. Bye, and thank you again. Thank you, Choku. I appreciate you coming by. Good luck with everything. I wish I had found study streams like yours much sooner. It would have helped support me in studying during COVID. Yeah, that's very fair. But yeah, I don't necessarily foresee me taking down the streams. Yeah, wait. I don't know if you just gave me a file, Edith, but it said failed, no file, or whatever. So what I suggest you can do, I guess, is upload it to YouTube. You can unlist it, and then you can send me the YouTube link. And that'll probably be the better way to do it. Yeah? Treating patients who are sick in their vulnerable, weak, or dying state is the most meaningful job, I think. I don't think that people can compare that way. What is individually meaningful? And yeah, I don't think that individually meaningful, like I don't think there are things that are more important to us as individuals, but I don't think there's any absolute meaning and hierarchy to these things. I know that I was watching a video on this with kind of caste system in like India, but as much as you need a doctor to prescribe orders, you need a nurse to help hang those IVs and put those IVs in, and it's a teamwork thing. And you need somebody to I think there was tiers, and there was like people who help out with cleaning, and it's like we need clean beds, we need places to be sterile, like it's essential. And so that inherently has meaning and helps people too. Also, thank you so much for the donation, Shivsai? How do I pronounce that? But Kura, my gift for helping me study. Thank you for driving me away from hours of waste on YouTube. I plan to make an impact on this world, and I won't forget the streamer that pushed me out of my cave. Thank you so much. It's been my honor and my privilege to be able to connect with you guys. I recognize it as a privilege, at least when I'm of sound mind. Sometimes it's just like, I'm not always in the best of mood when I'm on stream, but you guys put up with me. But when I'm of sound mind, and yeah, I recognize how much of a privilege I've had being able to connect with you guys. So thank you, Shivsai Kura, for connecting with me and being here, and all the best. Thank you so much for the donation. But yeah. Aang, did anyone tell you that you have a very articulate way of talking? I don't think I have an articulate way of talking at all. I'm very poor in my ability to present myself and being articulate. So yeah, I don't think anybody has told me that, because I don't think that I'm very articulate at all. And I don't think people think that either. But thank you for mentioning it. I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. Hello, Ace. Random question, do you own any pets? I can't even take care of myself. I would not put the burden of anything to be taken care Oh wait, that sounds terrible as a doctor. um, Let me rephrase that. I take care of patients that are not my pets. And having a pet is a big responsibility. And I think that with the limited bandwidth I have, I want to be a good companion and a good companion and a good caretaker of a pet if I were to have one. And so I don't necessarily feel I could do that because I don't feel that I always have the capacity to do so while still doing the things I want to do. And so I don't have any pets at the moment. Thank you so much for the streams. I really wish I had discovered you earlier. Thank you for the company and your comforting voice during my studies. I'm so happy for you being a great doctor. Thank you for being here, Ignore. I wish I got to connect with all of you guys from day one, but that's how these things take off, you know? It was really lonely for the first couple of days, months even. I think I talk about this where it took me over 3 months to get over 100 subscribers, right? And so a lot of times in chat it would just be me, but we had 1-2 people maybe, and they kept me going for a very, very long time. And even nowadays, right, when we have like 15 people in chat or 10 people in chat, like just one person has helped me keep afloat with everything. But yeah, I think that it's interesting, right? Like, they say don't compare or whatever, and I think that is a good piece of advice. Just be you. But I can see the appeal of why people would enjoy streams like Merv's or like Wu Jin's or Enriqueo's streams, because they each have their own style and that sort of thing. And I can see why perhaps you would want to connect with those people more. And it's that whole thing of like, we might have our own niche here, but one, people will take over my niche because new people are born every day, and two, even then, I would say there are people who are doing this better than I am, right? Given their popularity. But yeah. Sarah, and my skincare products are very similar to yours. Are you catching up on the stream, Sarah? Okay. Are you very passionate about your skincare, Sarah? Brownie phrase. Yeah, no, I'm honored that you made something for me, Edith, and I would love to see it. I think that if you can upload it to YouTube, though, that would be a good place to put it. You can make it public or you can make it unlisted. And if you leave it unlisted, only people with the link can see it. But yeah, best of luck on the new life you're about to enter. I got to finish up. Good luck and enjoy your day. You will be missed. Bye. Okay. Thank you, Hala. Good luck with your work and hope you have a good rest. Or good luck with your journey, yeah. Are you done with your internship? Internship is unusual. It's like a weird statement. So here, some people consider internship like their clinical years of medicine, so years 3 and 4. But for me, in the US, we usually call first-year doctors interns. Basically, what you call doctors who graduate and are in basically training for doctors include residents, resident doctors, and then physicians, obviously doctors, blah, 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 the usual stuff, but also intern is specifically used for first-year residents. So no, I have not completed intern year in the US, as they call it sometimes. But intern is a term that varies a lot depending on where people are at. So thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Dusan. How do I pronounce that? Dusan? I don't know that letter. For the donation for 249 Czech dollars. I appreciate it so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate you. Introduce yourself. This is the first time I've seen you. But yeah. Are you any Are you by any chance Japanese? Just a random question. Yeah. If you guys don't know, do you guys know what my ethnicity is? Have I talked about this with you guys? I've definitely talked about this before, but for those of you guys who don't know, what is your guess, I guess? I will tell you. But yeah. And I just never sent my message I typed from earlier. Oh, I see. Okay. MB. If only I told you earlier. Yeah, maybe. If only he did. I think it depends, because sometimes I would be here studying with you and I wouldn't talk on the breaks just because I enjoyed hearing what you had to say. Aww. A lot of times I feel like I'm just talking to air, and I'm just filling up that air time. But it's nice to actually connect with you guys. And it's nice to hear that somebody likes to hear my voice, because many people find it grating. And I can see how people, like, I can see why people don't want to be on the stream, right? And don't enjoy my streams and would prefer something like Mer. I think somebody said like, oh, I'm very proper or improper. Or they were saying like, I'm honest. And then they were like, what, other people are dishonest? And they said, no, they're just very proper and stiff. And I'm like, really? Are they? I don't think that's the right way to describe a lot of people. Like if you talk about Enrico and whatnot, I don't think that, like, I don't think there are really a lot of significant differences a lot of times. So I think that if you like their streams, right, and they're already popular, then I am just like a redundancy a lot of times to a lot of people. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. But it's just, I do this because I feel I need to do it for my own sake sometimes so that I can sit down and study. But yeah. I want to know how many hours new doctors like you work for. When do they go home? It depends. So a hospital is 24/7, right? Sick patients don't just go home for the weekend, and they don't leave after 5 o'clock. So usually, usually new doctors, fresh graduates. It all depends on each program and what the requirements of the hospital are. But by law, for every physician starting out, the rule is that over the span of 2 weeks, I mean, hopefully I'm quoting this correctly, but from what I've been told, the rule is that over the span of 2 weeks, you cannot exceed an average of more than 80 hours per week. So what that means is that a lot of doctors will say that they work 80 hours a week, but that is the max that you can work every week, basically 80 hours every week. But more often than not, I hope it's less. They say that in some places it can be really bad and they're just hitting 80 hours every week. But hopefully that's not the case. It is important to get, the exposure that you need, but when you are severely sleep deprived and overworked, it's dangerous not just for you, it's dangerous for the patients. And it's not a good learning experience either if you're constantly sleep deprived and you're not absorbing things. I think I've talked about this, where it's like, it's not just the quantity that you study, but the quality of your study. And so you look for places that can offer you the best quality of study in the least amount of time, right? Efficiency-wise. And part of that comes with having a good work-life balance so that you can learn. But yeah. So, like, Dushan? Hello, welcome, Dushan. Did he finish the Lego? I did not finish the Lego. I think that it is too monumental a task. So this is what surgeons, I guess, feel when, like, they have a med student and the med student is asking, like, oh, so what's that there? What's that there? What are you doing now? And the surgeon just like, I'm trying to work doing this very delicate surgery, somebody's organs, So credit where credit is due. Like, it is hard to multitask. And evidently, I am not a surgeon, given that I cannot build Lego and speak to chat and respond to it at the same time. With that said, fun trivia for you guys is that with being in the OR as a medical student, one of the important skills to learn is when to shut up. And just in general, it is important to know when to be quiet and when to speak. I want to make a video on this at some point, but basically it boils down to the role of like, does this need to be said? Do I need to say this? Do I need to say this now? If you can answer those three things, then go ahead and say it. But basically it's this whole thing of if somebody is bleeding internally and there's a massive hemorrhage, that is not the time to ask a surgeon of like, oh, what artery are you clamping right now? What technique are you going to use? Are you going to use a baseball suture on that? Are you going to two-hand tie? No, bad time. Focus mode, right? I guess similar to a Study With Me stream. So knowing your place socially is important, and knowing the time to socialize and converse is an important thing in the OR. But, so that's just a fun fact. Let's see. What is my favorite Lego set? I hope this is my favorite Lego set. Why don't we say that? I don't really have a favorite Lego set. There are so many cool ones. Your voice is nice. Thank you, Afi. Have a great, hope you reach all places you want to reach. So happy for a new chapter is beginning. Thank you. I rewind your videos for breaks and your chat. Aw. When you become a doctor, will you buy a supercar? I hope to buy a car that's comfortable to sleep in. Because, wait, when I become a doctor, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford a new car with a resident. So first year doctors get paid very poorly, and we have a lot of things that we have to pay back because, again, we're old and someone's got to pay the bills day to day for us to live and exist. And so for me, I'm in a very financially poor place, and I foresee myself being financially poor for some time. So the most I can ask for is a car that I can hopefully sleep in if it's too tiring to get home, and it's comfortable to drive in. But yeah, supercar, never been one to want to be a ridiculously loud guy on the street. I don't know if you guys experience this, but it really annoyed me when I would be in town and you just hear people revving their engine and scream, their engine is just screaming, and they're going 1 kilometer an hour on traffic, and they're just burning gas for no reason but to flex basically on pedestrians, saying look how nice my car is. So personally not my jam, but I can appreciate a luxury car with nice cool leather seats or heating seats in the winter, so maybe someday it would be nice to have a car that is comfortable. But yeah, that would be my stance to car. I have to go study now. Bye, take care, Sama. Good luck with everything. I wish you success in your journey. Thank you for being a long-time supporter. Thank you for posting in the Discord about the stream. And your support has meant a lot to me over time. I showed your stream to one of my friends before, and she also said your voice is really nice, but I think so too. Thank you, Juliana. I think we've talked about this. I was like, oh, have I met your friends and your family yet? I hope I made a good impression on them, and I wasn't just that boy that they don't want you to see. That's a joke, the thing of sometimes when you introduce, your friend who happens to be a boy, aka boyfriend or whatever, to your family, they're like, I don't want you to see that boy anymore. And I think that I've had people say that about me in the past, so that's why it sticks out to me. You've not talked about your ethnicity, did you? Okay, so yeah, my ethnicity, right? None of you guys took guesses at what it was. So take your guess on what it is, and I'm curious to hear it, but I kept you waiting long enough for it. But ethnicity wise, it's in my introductory video, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that, it's a weird time to suggest you watch it, but it's there. I am Hong Kong Canadian. I go to a UK medical school. I did my 2 preclinical years in Cyprus, which is a country in the Mediterranean, and they were a former British colony, so there's basically a campus there where they send the non-UK citizens like myself to there to get their preclinical years. And then I currently live in the US because we have a hospital contract which allows people who are interested in training here in the US to go. And as a Canadian, this is close to home. And so I've appreciated learning more about the American system, and I can certainly say that my training here has been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Chinese. Yeah, Hong Kong Chinese. But yeah, you knew that already though, Sarah. But yeah, let me get more water. Okay, I gotta go now. I appreciate you for streaming and keeping me focused all the time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take good care of yourself. Not only for your patients. Yeah, take care, Ace. I appreciate your company. I know that you're pretty new here, but whether you're new or old, you've helped me along, and I appreciate that. Nancy, hi Ang, I'm here again after a long time. I stayed with you for my final music exam last August. Great to see you achieving your goal. It's sad for your goodbye. I wish you the best. Oh, congrats on your final music exam. Hence why you wouldn't be on Study With Me streams. And this is that whole thing of like, this audience, you guys will eventually stop being, you know, students just like me one day. And you will live your own lives and go on your own path. And that's okay. And there will be new students to come take your place in the classroom, because if you never left the classroom, there would be no space for everyone who comes up after you. So yeah, good luck with your journey, and thank you for stopping by again. I'm gonna need aspirin from India. Cool. Hello, Kavya. I hate loud cars. It's such a stupid flex. It hurts my ears. I'm of the same opinion, but I understand that some people, like, it is a engineering marvel a lot of times, so I recognize that, and I can recognize how that is something that people enjoy. What kind of doctoral field are you trying to specialize in? I am trying to specialize in internal medicine right now. For those of you guys who don't know, you're supposed to make you guys guess, but if you just saw me, what kind of doctor you think that I would be, right? If I walked in and I was like, hi, I'm a doctor, and then you would look at my face, and then what kind of doctor would you say that I am, right? If you just saw me walking around in my white coat, right? But yeah, that's something that is interesting, right? Like, how do other people see me? It's an important thing that I have to remember a lot of times, because we talk about like looking professional, being professional, and part of being professional is looking professional and understanding how people see you and recognizing that, because it's not just sometimes what you say, but what people are hearing and seeing. Yeah. Oh, I love Hong Kong. I've been there. It's a very beautiful country. It is very beautiful. I guess we'll talk about like what happened. Well, we can talk about it at some point, but it's a place that I'd like to go back to at some point to visit again. Have I finished my choco milk bottles? I think I have 2 left. 2 left. So yeah. Hey there, I wish you... It's interesting, right? Like, I was burning through them, but when you have like only a few left, that's when you start to savor things. Scarcity breeds, yeah, we treasure things that are scarce. That's what I want to say. Hey there, I wish you a very good life, and maybe we see each other, we see one another at some point in the future. I hope so. It'd be nice. Like, I always thought it would be cool at some point. I mean, I guess a lot of people get very annoyed about it because they just want to live their day-to-day life, but like, In the right situation, in the right context, it would have been cool to have just been like to connect with you guys at like a real person level. I always made the joke with the amount of people from India. One of these days I'm going to visit like Delhi and be like, can you guys help me get situated? Because you know, I have a friend from India and he was just like, don't ever go without me because you're too gullible and you're gonna get taken advantage of. Because, you know, in the normal distribution of things, right, there are always going to be good people and bad people, but proportionately, right, or not proportionately, but like just in absolute numbers, when you have the most amount of people on the planet, there are going to be a lot of bad people, just like there are bad people here. And when you're unfamiliar with a situation, it's easy to get taken advantage of. And so they were like, you got to be careful, especially at the airport. They know how to get you there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll look for you when I need someone to guide me around in India then, because it's definitely a place I would like to visit beyond just the airport. Let's see. It's really nice that you're taking the time to end your streaming officially. I understand people need to move on, but I think that many streamers would just disappear, so this session is great. Yeah. I wanted to give you guys the closure I think you guys deserve. Let you guys have your moment, right? I don't need to study right at this moment, and it's okay for me to spend a little time to give something back to you guys. I hope that, like, you know, you guys can appreciate this as something that you want, right? Rather than just me disappearing, because, yeah, I want to give something back to you guys, and this is how I can do it. It is hailing outside. I'm like, I hear, like, rocks coming against the window, but no, it's, like, storming really, really bad right now, and there's storm going. And there's a storm. Let's see. You would look like a pediatrician with a blissful smile. Would you guys trust your kids with me? I think a lot of you guys are pediatric populations, right? So it's like that thing of like, you know, if I walked in the room, how would you guys feel if you saw somebody who looked like me? Sometimes I get that where people look at me and then they're like, oh, you look like... I had a guy that was like, you look like you're from one of those bands that like my teenage daughter likes to listen to. And I'm like, oh, okay. You look like that guy. And I'm like, do you know? And I was like, no, sorry, I don't really follow K-pop. But yeah. Yeah. I will send my personal ghost to your hospital. They say that all hospitals are haunted anyways. So yeah. But sure. Definitely a doctor for children. Pediatrics, okay. Interesting. I've opened my phone right now, and I suppose I'd love to help if you ever visit Northeast India. It'd be cool. I don't know a lot about India, to be honest, and that's the thing. Like, because I don't know a lot, it's hard for me to necessarily visit and know what to look at and look for and look out for, you know? But I've met people from all over the place. But obviously, there's the places like New Delhi and Mumbai, right? I've been to Mumbai airport, but never went out. And yeah, those are the two big places, obviously, right? But I'd like to visit other places. One of my best family friends is Sri Lankan. I know that's not technically India, but, or it isn't India, it's the better thing to say, but yeah, it would be cool to visit that area for sure. I would have guessed brain doc. Neurologist? Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Come to Western India too. You guys got to tell me like the cities to visit and all the cool things. I don't exactly have a ton of money to go traveling in the world, but maybe someday. I think that it's worth the money to have the experience to see the world and connect with people. Because I find the experience that I've had with each of you guys, connecting with you guys, at least in this capacity, has been worthwhile. Yeah. We will miss you. It's very nice to each your stream. Thank you. I'll miss you guys too. West India. Northeast India is for natural beauty lovers, full of mountains and waterfalls. Okay. Go to Assam in India. Will you guys show me around if I come visit where you guys are at? See, that's one thing, right? You guys are like, oh, come visit here. And it's like, okay, I'll go visit there. And then I'll just be like a chicken with my head cut off, right? And just be, you know, confused and lost. And be like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to see here. Come to Mexico. I've been to Mexico before. Maybe maybe as a trip if I ever work on my Spanish some more. It would be cool to visit again. I've been to Mexico before. It would be cool. Yeah. I don't know. Some of the best experiences I've had traveling and seeing places was actually just connecting with some people there where I've traveled to and just seeing the place as they see it and seeing how different people live. So it'd be cool to connect with you guys if you were over there. Travel and I'll show you around Germany. Maybe the next time I go to the UK, do some more Europe backpacking, because that's a very popular thing, right? People go all around in different parts of Europe. For sure. Any advice you want to say to students who want to take medicine as a career? It depends on the day you ask me. I have a video on the kind of what do you call it? On the ways I felt like medicine has ruined my life. But that was kind of at a point where I was very low, and hopefully I communicated that in the video, but it happens. And I think that, I guess my advice is to get a realistic understanding of what it is. It's very easy to idolize things when you haven't had experience in it. And I think we do that everywhere, right? We all want to be in Hollywood, we all want to be in Bollywood, we all want to be rich and famous, you know? But when we get insight into things, it helps us understand the feelings that go on. And so, you know, I would say that especially coming from Asian countries where a lot of times people say I want to be a doctor because I see that they have good lifestyles, and also it's something that will make my parents proud. And I think that, you know, that's an okay place to start, but it's also very important, I think, for people to understand what it means and what doctors actually do day to day, and the things that they experience and how they feel. Yes, definitely. I'll show you around. I mean, I hope I do. Thank you, Afi. I'll keep that in mind if I'm ever visiting Assam in India. I'll show you in India for sure, don't worry. Congrats, thank you, Aisha. Right, what I wanted to... So, right, I was going to answer the question. What kind of doctor I'm going to be, and... So these are kind of the ideas on videos of like things that I would like to write about at some point and communicate my thoughts on, just so that's out there and documented, and, you know, documenting my experience that way. Like, this is why I do what I do, and this is how I've chosen to exist. Because one of the things that we talk about, or one of the things that has come up as an idea, is that all media, the meaning of all media, a lot of times of shows and everything, is how do we live life, and yeah, what is the good life and stuff like that. And so yeah, I hope that I can contribute whatever I've experienced and my thoughts on whatever people are curious about. But so to the pediatrician side of things, I don't mind like treating kids, and it's a lot of fun because like doing a pediatric neonatal well child visit exam is almost just like playing with a kid. You kind of play with them for a few minutes, you see if they're moving around okay, you look in their ears, it's all good. A lot of times, and you know, it's fun. That said, it's not something that I think that to be a pediatrician you have to really, I mean, that goes for any specialty, you have to really enjoy it, and I do, but it's not just about enjoyment. Well, I mean, it's enjoyment, passion, and also if you're any good at it, right? So do I enjoy it? Yeah, it's okay. Am I passionate about it? Not as much as I might be for other types of specialties. So that's kind of the thing. And then am I any good at it? And I think I can do a well child visit, but I think that, there's a lot of, man, this is a hard topic to do in a nuanced way without it coming across as like, I guess, not very crude. But just as there are people who provide, or there, everybody has their own preference for providers. I would say that it would be one of the ones that might be harder for patients to feel comfortable with me seeing their kids, or kids feeling comfortable seeing me. In the sense that, like, this is why I asked, like, would you feel comfortable, having your kids see me? Or if you were a kid, would you feel comfortable, think back to when you were 12 or 16, or if you are 16, or if you're under the age of 18, would you feel comfortable seeing me? And think back to that time. Because I think that, especially with parents, you have to, work with parents when you're dealing with pediatrics. But it can be difficult to walk that fine line of like being very good with kids and saying, you need to be able to say, I like playing with kids without it being creepy. That's the best way I can say it. Like, I like playing with kids because they're fun to play with, and they're, they're nice big balls of energy, right? And, that energizes me, right? But at the same time, that can be very creepy. Again, if you have somebody who looks like Homer Simpson, right? A bald, overweight man, that's like, oh, is this a creepy guy? Like, and that's kind of my biggest fear as like, it's the same thing of like obstetrics and gynecology, for instance, as a male. Like, I have met incredible male OB-GYNs for sure. But people have their preferences, and it can be hard. And people, regardless of your skill, you might be as well trained as somebody else in the field, but for whatever reason, people don't want to see you. And that's fine. People can choose their provider. It's just obviously harder in some cases. There's always going to be barriers. Like, for instance, if I ever became a gynecologist, for example, that would probably cause some issues that way. There's always going to be somebody, right? So yeah, that's kind of my thing of like, I would be concerned from that aspect of like, oh, what is this middle-aged man? What is this middle-aged man like playing with kids? Is he a pedo, right? And I hope that people don't get that impression with me. It's the same thing with like when I was on my obstetrics and gynecology rotation. I'm like, ma'am, I am certainly not getting off on your bacterial vaginosis like inspection. Like, I'm checking now and getting swabs, but like that's, this is not getting me off in any way. This is like professional, and I'm doing my job here, and I'm trying to provide care for you. But for whatever reason, that happens. So that's kind of my point on pediatrics, and also why I wouldn't want to go into OB-GYN, even though I think that they're cool specialties, and I enjoy aspects of them. Maybe fam physician, but honestly, whatever you do, I'm sure you'll be great at it. Aw, I'm glad that you have confidence in me. But family physician, it's cool. I love the idea of family med where you get to see everything. See people from birth to death, basically. And that's super cool. And having those continuity relationships. And because sometimes, when you build those long relationships, that's when you can truly, that's where good medicine can come from a lot of times, because it's like, wait, this person's not quite acting right. And then that's, if you have a good relationship with your physician that you've known for a long time, they can detect things like depression, or they can sense when things are off with their patients, and be like, they notice subtle clues that might be off. that even, you know, supposedly specialists or professionals, right, might not pick up on because they don't know what a patient's baseline is, since they don't necessarily have that continuity. So yeah, continuity of care is very cool to me. Which country you visited so far is the loveliest weather? That's a very hard decision for me to say. It depends if like you're asking, because certain places, they're very nice at certain parts of the year. For instance, Florida in the US is great during the winter, apparently absolutely terrible in the summer. Same thing with Mexico in the winter. Great when it's very cold in Canada, brutally hot in the summer. So yeah, but places like Singapore are good. Cyprus was pretty good. It gets brutally hot in the summer though. Yeah, Singapore, Hong Kong are good places. I like Canada. It has 4 seasons. It's where I'm from. But sometimes when the winter drags on and my joints hurt because I'm an old man, I'm like, oh, I just want to move further south. I gotta go. Thank you for your streams and videos. You really helped me. Thank you, Malfoy. I don't know where your journey has taken you, but I'm glad to have been able to walk alongside at least part of it with you, and I hope that you continue on with yours. And yeah, good luck with it. Will you ever live stream again? What would I live stream, right? What would be my purpose for doing that? I mentioned this where it's very hard for me to, so this is my aspect on like, is this the final stream? Am I ever going to do it again? And we've talked about this of like, other people will take over and study with me streams. New stains will arrive or meant to be replaced. I don't have much to offer in the space anymore. So I don't necessarily see, it's like, do I have the ability? Yes. But do I have anything of value to contribute? And I don't necessarily see that. And, you know, in order to provide a service, you have to be convinced that sometimes that you're offering things of value. Yeah. What do you think of ENT, ears, nose, and throat? I don't have a lot of experience with ears, nose, and throat doctors. It's cool. Surgery is always cool to me. Yeah. No strong opinion. That's fine. But yeah, it's okay. What do you think of creativity? Do doctors need to be creative in studying in regards to healing, etc.? Yeah, I think that creativity is an asset as a physician. We have algorithms for things like how to manage hypertension. A lot of times the first line treatment could be an ACE inhibitor, like lisinopril, for example, is one of them. But, you know, sometimes you need to be creative of like, if this person says, you know, I can't afford insurance or whatever, then you need to sometimes, or I can't afford it because my insurance won't cover whatever medication it is. And it's like, okay, well, what can I offer? What do I know works? And integrating your knowledge and that sort of thing can be helpful in that regard. Or even a lot of times disposition wise, where I just like, oh, we need to discharge this patient from the hospital somehow, right? Their pancreatitis is getting better, but they're not going to be in any shape to be able to get home. What can we do? And it's like, well, can we offer them a cab? And then, you know, creative solutions. Like, it's a lot cheaper for us to pay for a cab for them home than for them to waste an extra, well, waste as in use a hospital bed for a whole day and all the resources that takes, than to just pay the $20 for the cab, right? So like, yeah, you need to be able to find creative solutions sometimes, and it's creative problem solving sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of medicine. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I remembered you talking on being interested in oncology. Yeah. So, oncology. That's kind of my answer to that's my answer to the kind of doctor that I want to be. I've wanted to record for a very long time of like why I chose the specialty I did. You don't become an oncologist straight out of medical school. You do general internal medicine. So for those of you who, just for some context, internal medicine is basically medicine for people 18 and over. And there's medicine and there's surgery, right? So covering people's high blood pressure, but even like you do a little bit of everything. It's head to toe, and you're just kind of the general doctor for 18-year-olds. Think of like a general practitioner or a family medicine doctor who covers from birth to death, and just covers a person's head to toe. But we focus on 18-year-olds and up. And the thing is, this training, if you want, you can stop there after 3 years and just kind of be a general doctor for 18-year-olds and up. But you can choose to specialize in one of the organ systems that a person has. So cardiology, nephrology for the kidneys. You can't actually go to neurology from there. Neurology is a separate thing. But let's see, gastroenterology is another one. Endocrinology, these are the ones. Basically, a lot of the ology specialties, subspecialties is what they're called here. And for me, one of the specialties, or I would say the specialty that has my interest most, is oncology and hematology. We call it hemonc here. It's a combined specialty, and a lot of countries will separate them into two separate things, but for historical reasons, hematology and oncology are combined together, similar to here in the US, the subspecialty of critical care and pulmonary medicine. So the lungs are often intertwined together because when somebody is critically ill, often they can't protect their airway. And so who do you call? The airway, well, the lung doctor, right? With ventilators and stuff like that. But all this to say, hematology oncology is very interesting to me, and I could probably explain a little bit better if I was more scripted. But I think that we talk about these three things of like things that you're interested in, you like, you're passionate, like you find enjoyable, you're passionate about, and you're good at, right? And so I think that what's going on with oncology is truly fascinating and groundbreaking in a lot of ways. Like from a tech perspective, it's incredible the kinds of advancements that are being made, and I want to be a part of that and contributing, not just in being a doctor. I think I've talked about this to close friends, but basically it's this idea that when you're a doctor, we're all meant to be replaced, right? In that sort of way where like a system relies on people who are competently trained in that field. It doesn't rely on exceptionalism of the person, or else the system would collapse. And so any competently trained doctor, right, so who's gone through medical school, can do what I can do, right? And so it's one thing where, but it is kind of existential in that place of like, I'm just another cog. I'm replacing somebody who's retiring, right, or moving on, and somebody else will come in afterwards me. And it's just like, is that all we do? Will I be? And it's like, I'm meaningful in that moment. But one of the things I like about research is that it's kind of immortalizing in a way, because we stand on the shoulders of giants, and even if our names are forgotten, like our work never is. So even if you don't know how, even if you don't know who Mendel is, right, you might know how genetics work with genes, and our gene crosses, if you guys have ever studied biology, or we might not know the person who invented zero, right, or math concepts, or we say that Newton invented calculus or something like that, right? We might not know these things, but their work is never forgotten, and it's always built upon. And so it's very arrogant to be like, oh, I'm gonna try and cure cancer, leave my mark on the world that way, but because it's a group effort, and we stand on the shoulders of giants. But it's this idea that like, if I can lay a stone down and let people walk forward and light the path forward to further things, regardless, no matter how far you go on the journey, how far science goes on this journey, and how far we go as a species. You still need to walk along that path. In order to get where we have gone, we've needed to walk along the path of thousands of years of humans, right? So I find the work fascinating. I find it very meaningful. In one of my videos, I talk about I went into medicine to suffer because it makes me feel so grateful for everything I have, and so blessed to have the first world problems that I do have. But it's a real tangible problem that I like to address. And, you know, I like all aspects of medicine too. Like, I'm somebody who just likes everything, right? So I like general practice. Like, it's not like I'm totally committed to one organ system, like the heart is the best or whatever. The body needs all its components. Or, yeah, the body needs many components to function. It just so happens that a lot of times the things that push the bounds in a given field are specialists in that field, right? The other thing is oncology is super cool in the sense that unlike other specialties where it's like the heart or a kidney, like one organ, or, you know, endocrinology, the thyroid and the adrenals, oncology or cancer can affect every organ system in the body. It can affect your skin, it can affect, you know, your bones, it can affect your muscles, it can affect everything. And so it's that cool thing of like, oh, I don't have to just work with one organ system. And in a lot of ways, if you're thinking about a career, one of the things for me is diversity and appreciating the diversity of things, similar to how I love, you know, the fact that you guys all come from different places. So there's that. Yeah, I love the diversity of it. So core research, passionate about the problem, and it's got a lot of diversity. So that's kind of where I'm interested in, but I'm very much open to all sorts of specialties in medicine. But anyways, sorry, that was a very long answer about everything. Yeah. Yeah, that's what specialty and what medicine I was going into. Why do you keep calling yourself old? I think I saw that message. Because I am old. It's all a relative thing, right? Like, I mentioned this, and you guys get offended when I say that if you're on the stream, probably not this stream specifically, but statistically speaking, right, with my Study With Me streams, you are a Indian child from, you're an Indian child preparing for the NEET, right? Like, just how it goes based on the numbers. And you guys are like, child, we're not children. It's like, under 18 is what I mean when I say child. But yes, granted, you're teenagers. So yes, what I'm saying is, I feel very old when, you know, my audience is younger than me that way. And especially when I can't necessarily connect with some of the experiences that you've had as people from different times. But yeah. Do I watch anime? Yeah, I do. Okay. Do you vlog at least once or twice a month? If my life changes and I find it worth sharing, again, I take it from the perspective of like, am I providing value? Is this something of value, or is it just content? Like, do I find this meaningful? Does this have meaning? Because again, I don't want to produce something with no meaning. That's just a waste of resources and energy to me. If you create something that doesn't serve a purpose or has no meaning. But yeah. So that's the thing. Is medical school much logical thinking, or is it just like learning? Bit of both. A little from column A, column B, but mostly learning, I would say. You have to follow algorithms, so there's logic there, but it's learning algorithms, which is pretty it doesn't require that much critical thought. Okay, jeez, we gotta get back to the AMA. So that's not a question. Have you ever failed an exam? If so, even if you've done your best, how do you cope? Okay. Have I failed an exam? Yeah, I think so. When I was in like elementary school, or no, even high school, I failed an exam. Physics was my crutch. Sorry, my Achilles tendon. Yeah, it was my Achilles heel, as I call it. Yeah, I did fail an exam, but I managed to pass the course overall. How did I cope? Let the emotions ride. Let them be what they are. Focus on accept what you can do, or sorry, recognize what you can do, accept what you cannot, and then come to terms with what you can do. And then yeah, just like acknowledging that like certain things can and cannot change. That's yeah, accepting reality is probably my way of coping, or trying to accept reality is probably my way of coping. I don't know if that really communicates what I'm trying to say very well, but yeah, recognizing things for what they are is important. What specialty do you want to pursue? We just went over that. Skincare routine. How do you see yourself 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I will be a doctor still, hopefully. I will be more experienced, hopefully. I will be a better doctor. That's kind of how I hope things go in 5 years. And if all things going well, I will be, yeah, if things go according to how I think they will go, hopefully I'll be in like hematology and oncology training by that time. Hi, Ang, not a question, but I just want to say thank you for doing the streams. Wish you all thank you. Will you upload videos or not? We already answered that. Okay, AMA is done. Good. Well, not good, but okay. So that's that. Okay. So, that's basically the end of the AMA. I was supposed to be building Lego this whole time and having a discussion on that. But evidently I learned I could not multitask. And best made plans, what's the phrase? Best made plans something something, but basically the plan went awry. Yeah. So that's my career path, right? And I wanted to ask you guys, since this is not just the last time you guys will be seeing me, it'll be the last time I see you. So tell me about you guys. Tell me, what is your current life path? What are you guys working on? And where are things taking you guys? You know, let me have some closure as well, all right? Depends on what you mean by failing an exam, because the grading system is different for me. I'm sure it is. I was thinking of going into medicine. I'm 15 years old and have to pick my A levels, which is a stepping stone to uni. Can you talk about the pay stress, if study is memorization or understanding length? Are you a UK person? Are you someone from the UK doing A levels? But yeah, pay as a resident, it's between 50 and 70,000 US dollars here. And you can look this up easily. Just look up residency. Yeah, you can look up residency salaries. And again, you can always look up salaries on, like, this is stuff that can be searched, I guess, specifically on like the financial aspect of things. But yeah, that's what it is residency wise. But depending on where you are, you might be like $500,000 in debt coming out. So, you know, making 60 grand on $500,000 of debt while you still have to live ends up being very stressful for a lot of people. So that's the money aspect that I can address. A study is memorization or understanding length. Both is my answer to that. It's a lot of both. I want to become a programmer. I passed my first exam. My next exam is 2 months away. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Fidan. Good luck to you on your journey. I have a question. Do people go into medical school after 30? What's the oldest age of a medical student you've seen or heard in medical school? We have a colleague. I think they're in their 40s. So that's kind of the oldest person I know of personally, but there's no age limit on medical school. So yeah, it's that. I want to be a molecular biologist. So I've heard, okay, don't just share, I guess, don't just share where you want to go, but share where you are right now. For me, I'm a medical student graduating, and I hope to one day be either a general internist or maybe a cancer doctor down the line. Molecular biologist. I'm hoping to be a surgeon in the future. I haven't really talked in these streams much, to be honest, and I've been here, but I've been watching, and gotta say, this has really helped me focus too. Thank you, Rishi. Whether you were just lurking or you talked, I appreciate you. It's always nice to connect with people. Yep, from the UK. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah. All right. I said that, like, I didn't expect this stream to actually go on this long. But I'm gonna say that, like, for time's sake, we'll cut things off by like 3 o'clock at the latest. So if you guys do need to go or need to have some idea of when this all ends and everything, like, we'll say that. But yeah. Originally I was only planning for this to be like an hour and a half, but you guys have asked a lot of things, and I wanted to give you guys, you know, whatever you wanted, since this is the end, right? But yeah. Okay. What's my aging? I'm 26, right? I think I answered that one. Medicine. I want to be a pediatrician, currently first year medical student, also interested in neurology. Cool. I mean, there's no reason why you can't be a peds neurologist as well. They deal with some of the, I was gonna say craziest stuff, but very interesting stuff, like a lot of seizure disorders. Cause yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, good luck with your journey. I'm a 3rd-year student studying geology and planning to become a geotechnical engineer. Cool. Anywho, are you going to give the channel to, or are you just going to post in it once in a while? For the right price? Sure. I don't know if I would feel comfortable with somebody like using my name. I mean, I know Fred did it, but Fred wasn't actually his name, whereas Hank is mine. So yeah, I don't know. But you know, crippling student loans makes us do crazy things, right? So there's that. Let's see. Me, 16 years old, will pursue medicine. I hope to attend Ivy League after my pre-med with a generous scholarship. End goal is currently neurosurgeon. That's a long journey. I think neurosurgery is the longest residency. I think it's 7 years, or is it's 6 years? I haven't looked into it because it wasn't my interest, but like, as somebody who's getting closer to that age, the idea of being 32 and still being in training is quite the endeavor. But good luck with you on your journey. It's a very ambitious goal. 16 years old. You've got the other half. You've got all of the life that you've lived so far already kind of written down for like an equal amount of time moving forward. Okay. Let's see. We gotta do 2 A levels, then 3 uni, plus 2 years practice in medicine, plus 3 years specialized. How is the duration? Did it go fast or slow? It's gone very slow in a lot of ways. And yeah, it has gone very slow in a lot of ways. But arguably it's fast. Things always look faster on the way back, but it's taking a long time for sure. But yeah, we've got a little celebration tonight, so I'm gonna be going out to that. But well, yeah, that's kind of that. Sorry, getting messages. My phone's lighting up. Yeah, the duration is high school for up till grade 12. So usually you're 18 when you finish, right? 18, 19. And then you have 4 more years of undergrad. So 4 years undergrad, and then 4 years of medical school. So 8 years after high school, basically. And then you have specialty training, which can be anything here in the US from like 3 up to 10 years, basically, from what I understand. You already know mine. If I get into med school, I think I want to be a radiologist, but that might change over the 5 years of med school. Yeah, that's reasonable. More than half of medical students, apparently, at least here in the US, change their mind about the specialty they want to go in halfway through. Or not halfway through, but at some point through. So that's kind of, it's okay to change. It's okay. Like, even if you're on a journey and you've said it and you've told people, like, don't ever feel that you have to live a life that you don't want to, you know? Mid student. I've been looking in your streams from time to time. Thank you for the stream, as they've helped me like many people here. Unfortunately, you usually stream in midnight where I live, so yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Sorry, I've got some messages that I do have to respond to. Give me 1 sec. I think I need to get the door. Okay, sorry. Yeah, things going on. What we were talking about, yeah, so I talked to you guys about where I'm at now, what my journey is, and for closure for me, I've been hearing your story, so yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I think you know mine. Yeah, I do. Thank you for sharing your journey with me, Nun. Let's see. Graduated, will start working as a junior software developer next month. Cool. I'm really happy to hear that. Really happy to hear that, Varia. What will we do next? So I was originally going to... This Lego set was supposed to be built, right? And afterwards, answering your questions, which I think I've done now, And we're gonna finish at 3. I wasn't gonna just close down the stream. I was going to close down the set and make everything empty out a little bit. But I think that in hindsight, I'm going to not do that. Maybe on stream, I'll just do it off stream, but I'll post pictures about the empty set basically. But yeah, I will be shutting down the computer. Screens will be coming down, posters off, and that was supposed to be the closure to everything, but that was supposed to be everything. Yeah, I know it's off topic. I just wanted to say that you are handsome. It also makes me happy when people laugh. Thank you. Appreciate it. So you're going to do your postgraduate or work as a GP? It depends. It depends on where the road takes me. I'm a psychology master's first year student. I will be specializing in clinical psychology, aiming for a GKS scholarship. I don't know what that is, but good luck with that. And psychologists are definitely needed. So many. Yeah. But yeah. I suddenly remembered I'm 25, not 24. We're getting to that age, right, where we don't even remember our own age anymore. But yeah. Currently just trying to make it through high school. Wanted to become a surgeon or be in medicine/engineering, but this past year has been quite demotivating. So I'm just moving along the way. I think that's reasonable. To be like, I'm just on the path of this. I just want to finish this. And many medical students are just like, I just need to get through med school. I don't know what I want to do. And it's like, okay, do you want to do medicine? And they're like, I don't know, but I need to get through it. It's like, okay, that's fine. I think it's important to reflect on what we want. You know, I've met friends that, I have friends that never finished high school. I have friends that only finished high school. I have friends that didn't finish their university. And a lot of them have achieved goals and are happy where they are. So yeah, consider the things you want. Be open to wanting new things too. And be okay with changing the path. No one's going to, like, maybe people who mind that you change path will be like, oh, you're quitting or whatever. Whatever. It's your life. You're allowed to change your mind. It beats the alternative of living a life that you despise. So, yeah. But yeah. So, I have 2 more professional papers to clear before becoming a certified accountant. Your live streams have been very helpful, as I always have trouble focusing for long hours. Thank you, Ong. Thank you, Ong. Ang, however you pronounce it. But, yeah. Thank you for sharing your journeys with me. One last question before we part ways. At the end of the day, do you think all the results come from the hard work you put in? No. I think it would be wrong for me to say that everything that I've gotten was solely due to my own efforts. I think that I've been helped by a lot of people. I've been very fortunate to get where I've gone. I've had to put in work as well to get where I've gone, and you've seen that. But again, I'm in the position where I'm fortunate enough to be able to study and not have to work 3 jobs, right, and to stay alive. So yeah, I'm aware of the incredible privilege I've had to be able to work and achieve the things I have. So work, luck, privilege, everything has led to where I am now, I guess. But yeah. Okay. So, can we play Scribble, or are you leaving soon? I think that's gonna be it. What I wanted to say here, right, to wrap things up, as a conclusion to everything, that was the AMA. We tried to build Lego. I'm not gonna close down the set on stream. I'll do it off stream. when I don't have to perhaps be elegant about it. But yeah, I guess the best thing that I can say is that I'm very bad at having conversations like in the ideal way that I would want them to go, off script. And so one of the inspirations of why I like to publish videos, I think I made a video on this, was because I can present things in at least the most optimal way I can if it's recorded and scripted and at its peak in performance. And so one of the videos that I made was a goodbye video, or when the goodbye would happen. Sometimes you guys leave me, and now it's my turn to part ways, I guess. But regardless, I made that video, and I think that's probably as ideal as it can get. But perhaps I can read the script to you guys again here, and just know that, yeah, that'll be that. I also want to say, I guess, thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing your journey with me. Thank you for thank you for letting me share my journey with you as well. It's kind of an anomaly and completely, like, I don't know. Yeah, it is completely insane that out of everywhere you could have been, and everything, like, out of all the possibilities that exist in this world, right? Somehow you ended up studying for a test online or something, finding me and choosing to be here. So I don't take that for granted, and I want to say thank you. Yeah, I don't really have any other way to say that, but yeah, I wish you success with everything. To the future people who will come after me on this journey, right? There are many, many friends that I've made who are also study with me streamers, but just in general, right? New people will come up, new med students, and we talked about this. There are med students on stream. For whatever reason, you guys chose me, and you know, it's always something that escapes me sometimes, because it's like, what do I offer that's unique, right? But for whatever reason you did, and so I'm thankful for that. So yeah, to the future, I hope that the future goes well for you guys, and you find lots of companions and people you can connect with as well, like we've been able to connect, or even better. Yeah. So yeah, let me just read what I wanted to say for goodbye. I think is important to say when saying goodbye. We've had a lot of good times together, haven't we? We take them for granted in the moment, and maybe dislike them then and there. But I guess that's okay, because it just means that even bitter things can become sweet with time. We don't talk as much as we used to, and we might not ever talk like that again, but that's okay. We've had our time together, and you're still growing, and so am I, and it just so happens to be in different directions. That's okay, because it means that you're still growing, and that makes me happy, even if it isn't with me. I know I can feel kind of, my voice is dry, sorry. it's okay that we're growing in different directions, because it means you're still growing, and that makes me happy, even if it isn't with me. I know it can feel kind of sad when we lose things as we go forward with our lives, but I guess that is how we move into the future, by not being locked down to the past. Maybe someday we'll grow together again, but if not, that's okay too. I'll just be thinking that you're out there somewhere, continuing on your path. While it might be comfortable to stay here together, don't you think that it would ultimately be sadder if we just stagnate here instead of pursuing our best selves? I hope someday we can at least catch up and talk about how far we've come. But until then, you know what I always say. Take care. Bye.